Impressive. Pretty impressive. Like, the first thing, I talked a lot about our team meeting is just making sure we practice together, take care of each other. And, we had really, you guys saw the 6 plays live, right? It wasn't very lively. I didn't think it was as physical as I'd like it to be, but it was the first time you probably heard me talk so much about thud. But main thing is that we take care of each other and try to, make sure guys aren't getting hurt. And I think we accomplished that today. Just, I talked about toughness and discipline at the same time. So we got to be tough, and tough man doesn't mean you got to throw guys at the ground, be a tough guy, but it's being smart and disciplined. So, it was one of the better ones I've seen as far as that first day, because usually that first day they're anxious and out of control. But I didn't see out of control out of these guys. So that tells me they care about each other and they're buying in. Questions?
In the 11-on-11 period, Jeremiah Marston was a guy that we noticed in a couple of those reps. Who were some other guys that maybe made some plays that were noticeable?
It's, like I said, I say this on game day. You guys think I'm crazy. There's a lot of chaos going on out there. I'd have to watch it again. I'd have to watch it. I didn't see Jeremiah with some nice thud tackles. We know Jeremiah's a good football player. He's got to be available, but I wish I could give you more, but I'd have to go back and watch tape. I've watched probably 75 plays after that. So, other things that just showed up in practice. I thought Mason looked sharp out there today. Boosie had, these are big plays that you kind of stand out. There was nothing, really big in the 6 plays you guys saw, but Boosie had a big time run for a touchdown down there. I thought, Boosie looked good. I thought that starting offensive line looked good. There was good protection out there. And I thought the defense did some good stuff. There's some new guys out there learning a lot of little tiny details that we can fix to eliminate that big run, which we will get cleaned up. But he's 190 pounds. He's fast, and that's kind of what I noticed.
To build on that question about Jeremiah, what have you seen from him just coming back? And he was out there with the ones in the middle. What's he kind of mean to this defense?
I think he's got great leadership skills. He's a great communicator. I think guys trust him. They know what he was. They know what we lost last year during camp. I think he's a great football player. He's a great kid. He's got a lot to prove. I know he can't wait to get out there. I just told him one day at a time. Make sure we stay healthy.
You mentioned on Monday that there were no turnovers from the quarterback. How did the rest of the week look in terms of that?
Monday, great question. Monday there was no turnovers. Tuesday there was 1 turnover. Render, our quarterback, protection was wrong. Formation was wrong by the tight end. I think Truett Brown didn't get lined up right. He was with the 3s, of course. And then, Render kind of scrambled out of the pocket and dropped the ball. It was like, here you go. So that was the first turnover in 2 days. Today, I think Mason did throw a pick today. And I think Holden threw one today. Holden's looked really good throughout. Holden yesterday's practice or Wednesday's practice, I think completed 93% of his passes. So I say Holden and Mason looked really, really good. But I want to say maybe 2 turnovers today. So, but we'll get that coached up.
How the freshman quarterbacks look, just getting in there, getting their feet wet operationally?
Well, Randa can't turn the ball over. He's got to secure that ball and get 2 hands on the ball at all times. But they both look good for freshmen. They're both really smart. They work at it. Ren's really, really good. Just knowledge of the game. And then Corey's got a gun out there, as you guys probably watch him. He slings that thing. Sometimes throws it too hard. His dad, obviously is a coach and does a heck of a job coaching him. But he can throw it through the wall. If we asked him to throw it, he tried to put a hole in the wall. So he can sling it, and he's accurate.
Yeah, we saw Kanye Thompson taking some punt return reps. What makes him an ideal fit for that kind of role?
He runs a 10-100 meter. Okay, and I'll tell you another thing. At the end of practice, we haven't really had a blocked field goal in 3 years. But he got his hand on at least 3 balls. Okay, he's fast. He's fast. So kickoff return, punt return. We think he can really help us in the return game. He's tough, and he's got football speed, not just track speed. The other thing I'll point out is our 2 kickers out there today did a nice job. I think we missed 1 out of 12 kicks, so our kicking game looked really sharp today as well for the first time kicking with a defense out there, not kicking on air. So I thought that looked sharp as well.
What are your expectations? Just he's been around for a while with Bruce Brookins going into this season.
Expectations is for him to be an All-American and an All-Conference safety. Having him available for 12 regular seasons plus, and just keeping his head up. He's had 3 really good days. I think you're going to talk to him today, right? Expectations is to be the best he can be. And, I think, he's got Corey Sanders, he's got Harlan Barnett. I think he just adds another flavor to that back end, hearing things a different way. I think he's so smart. Cruz is smart and he's intense. He's a leader out there, locally. He'd be the one voice that you're going to hear on that field. Everybody listens to Cruz Brookins.
We
You mentioned.
saw Alex Sanford lined up with the ones, with the linebackers. What have you seen from him in these 3 days?
Yeah, I've done a nice job. So has DeMarco. I mean, both those two have been impressive. Again, they're still learning the defense. This is like ground zero. And probably the only reason that Alex Sanford is in there is because Cam Lindsey was missing a couple classes. So Cam Lindsey should be in there, but Cam Lindsey had a couple missed classes. So we kind of, what you do on the field is what you do off the field, vice versa. So that was the only reason Cam wasn't out there to start off with. Really, the last 3 days, and you know how many classes he's missed since? 0. Okay, so just got to straighten him up a little bit. So I've been, he's taken the punishment a little bit to heart, and it's good for him. And he's been impressive. Cam's done a nice job. Just want to get a degree too, not just play football.
How has Josh Guerriere sort of improved over this offseason, just heading into spring camp?
Josh got a ton of talent. I mean, he splashed during fall camp last year. Then you get into a season and it's a different offense every week, and his head's spinning. But right now, his head's not spinning. And again, he's just so much better now. Just a year under your belt, he's got that experience. He's got the talent to be a dude out there. We know that he's got great coverage skills. He's got great football intelligence, and he's got a knack of getting to the ball. So he's a great tackler. So I mean, he's got a ton of talent at that free safety spot. So it's just getting to learn the defense. I mean, it takes reps, it takes time, and I think Coach Barnett's done a great job with him so far.
This may seem like a silly question, but for us, I mean, we get a little snapshot of these spring practices and fall camp as well, but 15, 20 minutes or so, and just curious, all the drills that we'll see that you guys do in a given practice, where do those drills come from? Is it a matter of just stuff you personally accumulated over decades that we're seeing out there? Do you guys bring new stuff? Just where do, I guess, all of those drills come from?
They're old school drills, whatever they are. When I say old school, there's drills that have been tweaked, and I mean, you can go to another practice somewhere else, they might be doing something like it, or but everything we do on offense and defense is based on what we need to be good at what we do. Okay, so if we're an attack defense, we want to be attacking drills on defense, attack and react drills for our D line. Our linebackers got all the things that we emphasize in our defense. Our linebackers getting downhill, like Alex Sanford right now, like the one big play we gave up, Alex is on the field, but he's just not getting downhill fast enough. We got to clean up his footwork and his stance. So, as coaches, we're going to jump into film here at 1 o'clock, and we're watching, and then you look and say, okay, what do we need work on? When the day's over, okay, I got to, Coach Bowen may say, I got to work better. I got to work more stance and steps drills. We got to be more efficient with our feet. False stepping. I mean, if you're a linebacker and you take a step like that instead of getting downhill to the chairs there's a seam open. You don't build a wall as a defense. So, I mean, whatever the drills are, that we taper them to what we need on the field. Whether it's coverage skills, I mean, we're teaching coverage, we're teaching, gap assignments and block the feet on people. I mean, they're all things that you need. And again, a lot of them are universal, but some of them you believe in more at Pitt than maybe you believe in it, at Nebraska. Okay, so I mean, it's all what fits your defense and how your style play.
I know this is a subject you like to refrain from, but is there any
let's refrain.
status updates on any of the injured guys? Anyone that might miss camp entirely?
Spring ball entirely.
Yeah.
Entirely. Again, Brown's out there going through individual. You guys see him out there, but we're not going to give him any live contact. So I would say he's not going to be in a scrimmage. I just give it for spring. It doesn't matter. We're not playing anybody. Unless Colorado wants to play, of course. They want to play Syracuse. I guess they don't want to play Pitt. I'm trying to think here. Offensively, I think we're, besides Brown, Zach Carruthers won't go through spring ball. He's, matter of fact, I put him on the Skelly to be a pass Skelly, throwing the ball, D-line. I put him in a DN today just to get lined up, look at the sideline, get the signals, all that kind of stuff. He had the biggest smile on his face just to be able to go out and do something. So I think that might be it. If there's more, I'll tell you when I come back. give you a better answer of who's definitely out and not getting any snaps.
So you're hoping Keith will be able to do some.
Keith will be out too, okay? Keith will be out too. He's doing great, you know, he obviously got his extra year of eligibility, he'll be ready to go. But yeah, he won't be 100% ready with that. He had a pretty bad deal there. Is there anybody else you guys got him on your mind? You can tell me, then we'll have to worry about it next week. Bonsu and Nigel as well won't go through it. You know, they're both coming off from Achilles, so they won't go through spring ball, but they're getting back and on track to be where we want them to. They'll be back for fall, for the summer.
Just real quick, Max Hunt, just curious if you have any
Jerry
thoughts
DePaul
on
will be
him.
really proud of you.
Max Hunt's a guy we've seen out there repping with the ones. Just
Mhm.
what kind of offseason did he have, and what maybe you feel like his potential is heading into this year?
Yeah, I mean, we got him out there with the ones, number one, because he knows what's going on, obviously, right? The operation, obviously he's been in, you know, a tight end that's returning. He's done a great job. Max is a good football player now. He's fast. He's more physical than he's been. He's put on, he's got to be at least 220 pounds, 225 maybe. He's going to continue to get better, but Carson's doing a great job at tight end as well. I mean, he's a football player. He's 245. And Elijah as well. So I mean, we got a good tight end room. I feel good with all three of those guys.
Anything else?
That's it. All right, I'll see you guys.